a wide range of possibilities. We could be talking about physical or mental disabilities, the deaf and hard of hearing community, chronic pain, mental health diagnosis, goals of substance use reduction, the list goes on. We all have our own experience with disability, whether it's our own or with people we know, and celebrate the ability in all of us. I am so excited to be joining everyone here this evening, actually live on location, which is not typical for us, actually out at Powder Puff football game going on in the Hamilton School District. So we'll do our I'm going to go ahead and bring in Ms. here for the wonderful guest that we have tonight. I'm super excited for this. Emily, over to you.
Our guest tonight is an H&P co-host that we met through H&P. First starting with H&P Nevada as a co-host, but recently moved to H&P Hawaii, where she currently lives in Hawaii. But she is a Now site affiliate. There's like Roscoffs and what I've site affiliated before too. But why don't you come in here and say a little more about who you are, what you do, and what's Now site, and anything else to add.
Okay. Aloha, everybody. I'm coming to you from Hawaii. It is just 2 day, so I'm at Sunday nighttime. I hope you end up having but my major job, I'm a caregiver for my husband, paraplegic, helping people with disabilities. So I don't want to say he's disability. And people who don't is one of my life, I guess. That's why I got into business, allow me to work because you're a giver, their life takes over your life, and you try to find that happy medium. About Now Site. Now Site is missionary or again trying to reach out to people through social. If it's for fun, it might be a little bit more. But if you're doing it as a business, well, possibly a nice expense. Because I was in the Facebooker, I would a troller, I guess, as well as. And so I would just go, yeah, I like that. Oh, congratulations. But I wouldn't know what to post for myself. And with Now Site and my AI, so I'm going to change my name. My name is Lee Karaoka, but site I am Lee AI. That sounds pretty fun to me. What do you guys think?
I think that's awesome.
Yep. So, just to let you ladies know, I did do it for a little while with my friend, his spot for, and that was a challenge because it was a call-in radio and I'd have to speak for 2 hours by myself because sometimes nobody calls. So, yes. So, I mean, you want me to talk, I can go on and on and on. Well, anyway, let's get back to the topic. I have Lee AI to post Facebook, Facebook, Instagram, I don't know, Twitter or X, whichever one you want to call it, and LinkedIn. The new release when they talk. What else am I at? I get confused and I don't know what I want to say. So there's a nice button that says surprise me. So my post today is that it came up with. And so those of you that don't know what to say, I like that surprise button so much you can't believe it. I've used it like 2 or 3 times already because the brain stops working sometimes. So I don't know what else I could share tons of things with you. At the social media, and that's, you know, like I said, Facebook, Twitter, X. It can also be a website, and you can build you a website in minutes flat, or you can take all day if you want, but it's all entirely up to the person sitting on the opposite end of that computer. We are the control, to speak. The cool thing is with AI, I will put in my business file and say, okay, what business profile would you like to do? So I'm like, okay, I want to promote AI. AI, very wording for me, and I can either tweak it, I can go back and say, tell me something different because I'm not liking what I saw. And the odd thing is that it talks like me. Isn't that cool? To have an AI verbiage in my language. And I can also, if those of you want to use it for business, my getting started with Now site was a feature of getting me, and it's going to be a cold lead, but you know, yes, going to some place is going to tell me no right away. You know, I can kind of warm them up, and then, but I'm looking for client of Hawaii, and that's what excited me, is that I can get a minimum of 10 clients, and you could do that also. It also will pen words, like, you know, for instance, I'm really direct, and I just kind of just tell it like it is. And so people are like, oh, that's too harsh, you know, because they're on the more, you know, nicey side and softer side. And so when you get, you know, when I get my client, a potential client, I can say, give personality. And unfortunately for you, because we're all on social, you know, it'll go find things about you and come back and suggest to me how I should word stuff. But you know what? Click that AI button and it does it all for me, and I send it off. Sometimes, you know, they come back, but as we all know, when you do cold calling, it does take some time to develop a relationship. So I'm in the developing relationship mode right now.
I think that is just stunning. I remember when I first heard about that, where it can give you an idea of how, what is this person going to be most responsive to? How should you approach them? It's like, wow, that's amazing to me. Because you're right, people have information out there. I mean, I've been on Facebook for a long time. I've got a LinkedIn profile, and you know, whatever else the internet has from any of the things I've been doing over the course of, I don't know, of forever, really. There's out there about me, so that it's able to just kind of pull things together in a pretty quick way and say that these are things you should know. And this is a, you know what? I just made me think I should look myself up on there and see what am I finding when I do that, because I really wonder, because I can only assume it's pretty accurate, right? So there's when I first got on there, I actually put our radio show description into the business profile, and I had it write a description for this, and I was pulling that up. I love how it came up with a description that was better worded by far than what I ever could have actually produced myself. So here's what I wrote in there. I said, all I called it was Disability Advocacy Radio. That's all I said, along with the name of the show. And I'm going to just read this. This is what the AI came up with. Discover and empower your voice, MKE Now, the ultimate source of disability advocacy radio. Our platform is dedicated to providing a voice for individuals with disabilities and promoting inclusivity in all aspects of life. We showcase a wide range of programs, including interviews with disability rights leaders, educational content, and community resources. With our team of experienced professionals and commitment to accessible programming, we strive to promote aware, inspire audiences to take action, creating a more inclusive society. Join us on AbilityMKE Now and gain the courage to speak up and drive change. Like, that is the description the AI came up with. I'm like, I couldn't do that.
Yes,
It's not, yeah.
Sue, that's like exactly what we're trying to do. Like exactly.
Exactly.
Like our mission is that.
I've
I know,
heard
isn't that amazing? I find it so amazing because when I put in, like I said, promote my AI, and then it came up with this whole slew of stuff. And like you said, I can't write like that. Like empowering and whatever else it said. It was like, oh my goodness. Thank God they have somebody there to do those things for us.
exactly. It's just amazing. So yeah, I love what the power is of what it has and what's all at your fingertips. And it's fun to play around with because I actually have a couple other things that we've plugged in to see what kind of a description it can come up with. And you have to tweak some of it a little bit because it still needs that human piece to finish off on, because obviously, like, I'm thinking about 12 o'clock shakedown, doing at 12 o'clock noon, 15 minutes of music and motion. We've been doing that for the last 3 years now. And I put in just a brief description, not knowing, what pieces of that will need to be able to put together a description. And it was pretty close. It almost nailed it. I tweaked a little bit and done. And again, way better all on my own. It's great that it's possible that to happen. It's a time saver, and actually be able to look that professional. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Isn't that amazing? I just find it so amazing. Like my husband talked to me about, using AI. He goes, oh, go to this particular company and use their AI. And I'm like, okay, fine. But the missing piece of it, when I'm trying to talk to, let's say, Sue, Sue might like a more friendly, inspired way of but I wouldn't know that using that other software program. But now I can go, Sue Roscoff, tell me about her, and they'll tell me about you, and they'll pen my message to reach to your heart. The unfortunate thing for us is, you send out these messages, you're kind of hoping that they'll look at it because we're in a social media age. Sometimes you miss it. So it's, constant reaching out and touching them. And, I've had people look at it. I mean, I've had one bad experience, but that wasn't even using my Now site. That was just, somebody who friended me and thought he could dump on me, his business. And when I dumped on him, he got all offended. And I'm like, but I did, and it's just been a game changer for me. So sometimes, like, I don't know, does any of you get upset and you want a nasty letter, with all the bent out anger that got? So I went in and I put it all into AI and I said, blah, 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 I had this really bad experience, blah, blah, blah. And it came up with a really nice way of telling them that they're not getting my business again. But in such a nice way. So it's good for those things. It's good, like if, Emily and I are really very different. I am very outspoken. Emily is I think she's pretty shy, but she's got this gorgeous, gorgeous smile and she's got a heart. So when I reach out to her, I can't be really direct because I'm just going to smash her down, and she's gonna, I don't want to deal with her because she's not taking into respect, where I'm coming from. And that's why I think using AI is super awesome. And we got a partner, somebody just joined us, Mr. Bernie France Grotte.
That's okay. Bernie's the easier part. The other part, it's a little bit of breakfast for some, and that's totally okay.
Bernie.
And when AI pump my name into AI, it's a bit of an interesting moment when it tries to know if it's going to vocalize it, and it's like, that's so good. So I'll just go with Birdie.
Okay, Bernie.
I'm so glad you're here. Actually, Emily, can I have you come on in and introduce Bernie for us, please?
Okay, Mr. Bernie. We met Bernie through our high school and college age group, Helpopedia. Bernie, what can I say about you? You're another podcaster, and with hold on, and he has his own organization called Creative Insight Consultants Incorporated, which is helping other businesses with growing. Hold on. So his podcast is called Knack for Business, and is a synergy architect for Creative Insight, helping businesses launch products and with startups and nonprofit sector things and growing. So
Some days I just say I do stuff because it's like, oh, I get engaged in that area, and even talking about when your day gets busy and you have a message you want to push out, and it's not a matter, either emotion or you're structuring a sentence or paragraph in your head. Sometimes running it through AI goes, oh, okay, well, you adapt it. So, and I've done that. In fact, I use AI for other pieces, even in the podcasting space, to help edit software or edit the content, and or use an AI voice to do that way you change up, right? It's almost like when you're watching TV and you have, the commercials louder, and then the person that's going, hey, welcome, and then you start your conversation. You have the highs and lows. So yeah, I capitalize on AI for those spaces. It's been working out. Learning curve, though. Learning curve. Gotta admit, there's a lot of AI software out there, and every time I'm looking on Instagram on the Reels and LinkedIn, I'm going, oh, here's a new one. Here's a new one. I'm like, I sometimes have to back up and see, do I already have it embedded in one of my other software platforms, like Office or whatever. I have to stop and go, oh, the shiny object looks so good, right? And then and if the learning curve is short, then it's not bad. If the learning curve is long, then it's like, okay, how committed am I going to be to this?
Yeah. Well, have you used NowSite at all?
No, I haven't.
You haven't? Well, it's pretty cool because it creates it based upon our personality and how we like to talk. And so like when you're doing, social media posts, it'll take into that consideration that it's Bernie or it's Lee or Emily or Sue talking, and give out the post in that manner. But when you want to reach out to me and you don't know me from beans, and you're trying to find out what is the best way to get to these heartstrings, it'll kind of tell you how to book that call, how to introduce yourself. And it was like, pretty soon it's supposed to be able to close your sales, but I haven't gotten to that aspect yet. So I'm waiting to get to that aspect of how do I close Bernie to sign up with, do something with NowSite, because I think it's like the best softwares. Because I did use another one and it was like, oh my God, it's just pending what I want. It's not trying to reach out to the person sitting across of me.
So don't show up with a bouquet of flowers and a smile and a cup of coffee?
If I to Hawaii, I'll let you take me out to lunch.
Okay, work that in. It might be not tomorrow. The itinerary is a little on the side, but that is cool. That is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, can I hear a little bit from you, Bernie, about your podcast that you do, and a little bit, share a little bit about your background here too.
Sue is going to be on your podcast, right, Bernie? In like January or something.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. So,
Excellent.
so background is 36 years in healthcare institution, the last 20 in business development, exited that stage, retired, started Creative Insight, and it's networking. I'm a lateral thinker, so sometimes I see opportunities and I explore them with people. Sometimes someone has something in front of me, like the little dog in the window, and then someone has, hey, they have a kid. You should meet the dog, the kid, right? And, there you go, everybody's hooked. I try not doing something like that because then the parents will upset me. But I do that in the business context. So one day, one person said, "Listen, my company does clinical trials, and I am not in the Frankenstein market. I'm not in that space." And at the bottom of 2019, someone says, "Listen, I need some clinical trials locally." Oddly enough, I know somebody, so pull the card off the roster, off the library, and go here, connect the people up. Progressing forward, pandemic, everybody went Zoom happy or Teams happy or whatever the platform is that you network with. And I started networking out so I'm located in Canada and in the Ottawa Valley. And now I'm connecting with people out in British Columbia, and that's the other side of Canada. That's a 6-hour flight. And while I'm in BC, next thing you know, I'm connecting with someone in the UK, Europe, South Africa, US, obviously, and Australia. So I get, I met large swath of people. Each of them are interesting. And at one point I realized, I've got this large library of people that I've made connections with. Now I really have some interesting stories. And so I started interviewing them. And so we've done season 1. We have 108 podcasts in the can, and they will all be out in the wild by the end of this month. And we started season 2. So the idea is, just everybody has a piece of the pie. If you're a chiropractor, and talk about, let's say if you're, especially when you're doing a lot of calls during the height of the pandemic, you're sitting a lot, right? And so when you spend a solid day and you go to walk away from your desk, it's like, oh, I'm not walking quite right. I'm walking like I should have been aged another 48%. And that's not. Talking about those pieces of the puzzle. It's your state of mind. That'll influence how you're going to do. So it goes to the accounting piece, it goes to the tech piece, it goes to the social media piece, legal. I've interviewed 3 IP lawyers out of the US. Fascinating. And something I didn't know about in the US Constitution, baked right in, not as an amendment, is that if you come up with a really bright idea, it does not belong to the crown, does not belong to the state, it belongs to you. And that was put in there. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. And once they left the British fold, right? King and country. Yeah, that's my idea, buddy. Leave it alone. Makes totally good sense. It's little tidbits like that. It's fascinating. It's like running into a little mini MBA course, and especially when you're editing all the podcasts that are on, going, no, that's interesting, cool. Let's it just helps foster the juices on going, hey, let me connect with somebody else. So I've met with them once, and I end up meeting with them again. And so from the AI perspective, I'm going to kind of dive in here. Between the editing, that really helps. Ums and ahs are really hard. You're sitting there and the software does it for you, right? And then you just kind of come in and listen to the flow of it. So if something's missing, you can undelete it and then smooth up the sound bite. The part where stage I'm at right now is here I have a library. Now I'm looking for AI that can help me actually search or make it more searchable for content. Because primarily one of the most common themes throughout all the conversations, and it doesn't matter an accountant, chiropractor, you get to know the person.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that relationship, it's, unless of course you're grabbing a Snickers bar and so you don't have that that moment. What is, there's kind of a catchphrase, like you're not, it's not, you're not you till you've had your little bite of food or something like that. It's more than that. It's you get to know people because you're doing commerce with them. It's not, and commerce is you're exchanging resources back to somebody. The handy part is though, are you actually connecting with somebody that you can go back to later on and going, I'm really satisfied. This is really great, right? So, and once you have that type of relationship, it's someone else and go, you need this person can help you. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of the knack for business and the creative insight components kind of wrapped in. I'm involved in other networking groups and throughout Canada and in the US. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I enjoy meeting people. So hearing a story and go from there.
Excellent. Well, so glad you could join us here today too. So yeah, so you not met before, is that right, Bernie and Leah?
No, I've never met Bernie before.
Excellent.
And
Well,
it's been a pleasure.
yeah, well, and we've got just a couple minutes here. Do you guys have any questions for each other? We got a chance here.
Well,
What time is your podcast? And can you convert it to tell me what time zone it's in?
well, my time zone is whatever time zone you're in is when you're listening to it. It's not live. It's all pre-recorded. So you're good that way. So if it's 2 a.m, you got nothing to do and you're looking for, I need to understand something about business, and you're gonna want to saunter down that path. Feel free. It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. Do a release. Originally, we were doing a release 1 a week, and then I realized at 108, that would put us at probably into June 2024 for the season 1 to be fully deployed. We sped it up, so it's the end of this month, and season 2 is recording. And I'm absolutely curious about NowSite, and so that's piqued my curiosity just with a few words. So you didn't even need AI to do that part, but I'm insanely curious about a lot of these. Going, that's handy. And the other thing is, as people describe stuff, and I go, hang on, you got to meet this person because this is something that they can leverage into what they're doing, so that they do what they do better or well.
Yeah, that's kind of a nice motto to have. So you're a connector. That somebody told me, hey, you're a connector. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm a connector? He goes, oh, you connect people. If I can, if I remember in my Wordex head up here, I try to connect as many people into very many different chins. And creative insight sounds like a really good game changer, now that I can listen on my own time, because time right now is a big challenge.
And I can fully understand that, but like, for example, both of us, we both have QR codes behind us or beside us, right?
Yes.
There's a reason why that's there, and
That's right.
we capitalize on that.
I know. I already capitalized on yours. It's in my.
You know what? Look, you're in mine.
Cool.
I'm in your monitor. I'm in your monitor.
Yeah, you're in my monitor. I need to, that's kind of difficult to reach out and touch it,
Well, from Hawaii, it'd be interesting, but you know what? Go for the drive.
Well, I cannot thank you both enough for joining us here tonight with AbilityMKE Now. This has been a real pleasure. But tonight was the first time I've gotten to meet both Lee and Bernie as well, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity for not only my introduction, but we can introduce you to all of our friends from AbilityMKE Now. So I have more information available, so if people are interested to reach back to you, you will have that available out there. And with that, again, my name is Sue Roskoff. So for Kurt and also for Emily Gold, AbilityMKE Now, we thank you.
In Hawaii, mahalo plenty.
And from Ottawa, Canada, hey.
Recording
what's up?
stopped.
I love that.